All right, so for phase one, the goal is how can we activate everything to 100%? That's going to be the biggest goals. It's even less about your muscles. It's more about the brain muscle connection. How can we get everything firing to 100%? Your quad, your hip flexors, your groin, your soleus, your calves, your hamstrings, everything, because it's going to take so much excess stress off your knees. And this is what happens when you have an injury, you have pain or stuff like that. Your body shuts down. Your quad starts to shut down, your hip flexors, your groin, your soleus, everything. So what we want to do is get everything firing to 100% and then go from there. And that's when you can start using your muscles properly. I had a guy that literally went from a 315-pound squat to a 405-pound squat in 4 weeks just in this activation phase, because now he was able to use all these muscles that were shut off, like his hip flexors, like his soleus, like his groin, and stuff like that. So this phase is the foundation of everything else. So basically, we're going to start off with Bulletproof knees. And what we have right here is Bulletproof knees. And you're going to click on it. It's going to take you to the correct day. And where there's the step-by-step instructions, step-by-step videos. If you click on it, it's a video. There's the video of me going over everything, explaining what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. Everything below that on your schedule is your notes. So, do exercises 1 through 8. So that's of this, exercises 1 through 8. So you'll stop at the spring ankle, isometrics. 3 sets of everything, spring ankle, reverse order, combined Spanish squat, isometrics, 10 reps. So that's going to make sense as I run through this. But these are the notes for you. But basically, this right here is all about how can we get your knees feeling good? How can we strengthen the muscles around your knees? How can we get that brain muscle connection with your quad? How can we get blood flow running through your knees? At the end of the day, blood flow is healing. Nothing does that better than the backwards treadmill walks. At the end of the day, when you walk backwards, it forces your brain to fire your quad at 100%. So walking backwards alone is going to help you get that brain muscle connection back by doing it over and over and over again. It also gets blood flow running through your knees. So what you're going to do is you'll hop on a treadmill. You're going to keep the treadmill off. Keep it off. And you're going to start to push it, manually push it. Just like that. Over and over again. And I do a bad job here. So what I do is I reach pretty far back. Even if it's just short, choppy steps, that's okay. You don't want to reach back too far to where you feel pain. In this phase, you're never going to push through any levels of pain. There's going to be no pain. And that's just a rule of thumb, because when there's no pain, you can't go wrong in anything. Injuries are so subjective in general, so you always have to let pain be your guide. When you don't go to pain, you're fine. You can do it. So just reach back, I would say, to where my heel is. That's when the toe goes. Just kind of like this, short, choppy steps with it pushing the treadmill. Sled pulls, that's just pulling something, pulling the sled. If you don't have access to a sled, no worries. What you can do is just literally pull anything. Somebody sent me a video of him pulling a refrigerator in his yard. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? At that point, just get a sled. But basically, it's just the act of just pulling something in general. You could even put a band around you and just kind of walk backwards slowly as the resistance increases right there. So that's that Spanish squats. That's my, my favorite exercise for just overall knee pain relief. It creates an analgesic effect in the brain. It also isolates the VMO very well. What we're going to do is we're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. On the 10th rep, you're going to hold it at the bottom position for 20 seconds. On the 10th rep, hold it there for 20 seconds. Now, if you feel pain at a certain level or you can't go to a certain depth, that's okay. What you're going to do is go to the level where you're about to feel pain, but you don't. So let's say you can only get to 45 degrees without feeling something, discomfort, pain, or anything, or the lack of range of motion. Only go to 40 then. Let's say you can, at 40, you feel pain. Only go to 35. You just go to 35 and right back up, 35 back up. And when you pause at the bottom position, that's at 35 degrees. Hold that for 20 seconds. And then slowly you can start to progress pain-free, getting lower and lower. So everything we do can be modified by a depth level or resistance level, just in general. Then we have Spanish squat isometrics. So that's just holding at the bottom position. TKEs and TKE isometrics can be the same as Spanish squat and Spanish squat isometrics. As what you're going to do is you're going to do 10 reps TKEs and then hold at the bottom position for 20 seconds on the 10th rep. So that's that. And then on the 10th rep, hold at the bottom position. You're actually going to lift up your opposite leg and hold it at the bottom position like this. Now, if you feel pain at a certain depth, at that depth, don't go to that depth. Even if it's just 2 inches, that's okay too. This is a great exercise to also isolate that VMO. which is that teardrop muscle right above your kneecap. And what the Spanish squat and the TKs do is when you're going back, when the resistance is this way, it puts a lot of pressure on your quads and your VMO to fire and to activate while not having any stress like on your knees because like the weight on your back, like when you squat. It's a way to go about that. And that's how you can get your VMO activated very fast and also do it very safely as well. Tib raises, strengthen everything. Your first line of defense, for your knees is everything below it. Right, your foot complex, your ankle complex, your tibia, everything is so important. Your soleus. At the end of the day, a car is only as good as its tires. At the end of the day, you could have a Lamborghini, and if the tires are flat, it's not going to ride like a Lamborghini. Same thing with us people, too. We're only as strong as our foot and ankle complex at the end of the day. Spring ankle isometrics. This is my favorite exercise for overall force absorption, power transfer. It's really just bulletproof your knees, bulletproof your ankles. As it trains your body in very sport-specific positions. But you may be looking at this thinking, okay, position 1, position 2, that is a ton of depth. That's like at 70 degrees. That's a ton of depth. What I would say is eliminate those. That can be painful. Remember, you're never going to push through any levels of pain. So we're going to start at position 5, which is like a 10-degree knee bend on your heels, or not on your heels, with your heel elevated as high as possible. Basically like a calf raise, but leaning forward. Forget the weight. You don't need to start with the weight. You want to get this down, hold it for 20 seconds, good, before you start to add weight. Then you go to 4. 4 is that like a 30-degree knee bend with your heel elevated just like 5, as high as it can be off the ground. 3 is at a 30-degree knee bend just like 4. Only difference is your heel is just slightly off the ground. You're on the balls of your feet right here. So 3 and 4, the same knee bend, but 3, heel is just slightly off the ground. 4 and 5, the same foot angle, but the difference is the knee bend. Now, let's say you feel pain at a certain depth. So at position 4, you feel pain right there at that like 30 degrees. Only go to 25. Say you feel pain at 25 degrees. Only go to 20. Never going to push through any levels of pain. That's the same for all of this right here. So you can go reverse order, 5, 4, 3, one set at each position. And that's going to be it for the bulletproof knees. Because remember, you're doing exercises 1 through 8. And then you're going to do, and that's going to take roughly around 20, 25-ish minutes. You're going to head into the banded isometrics. So this is all about strengthening your hip flexors, your groin, your soleus, all these other extra muscles to 100%. That's going to play a huge factor in your overall knee health in general, as well as that's where all your speed, your explosiveness, your power comes from. I had a guy that went from a 4.9 to a 4.6 40-yard dash just doing these banded isometrics right here. Just doing the banded isometrics twice a week. That's it. And it was a matter of 4 weeks. So these can be very, very lethal. Just where all your speed, your explosiveness come from, your power. So the catch is you want to activate the fast twitch muscle fibers. So you want to hold each position for no less than 10 seconds for all of these, 1 through 10, but no more than 15, meaning failure before 15 seconds. So no less than 10 with proper form, hold on to something for balance, but no more than 15, meaning you can't even get to 15 seconds. Like you can barely get to 10. You can barely get to 12 before you fail. So as we look here, as you see, I'm holding this position at this 45-degree angle right here, holding on to something for balance. This isn't a balance exercise. It's activate your muscles to 100% exercise. Holding it for no less than 10 seconds. But when I get to 10 seconds, it should be super difficult to where I can't even get to 15 seconds. And that's the ideal time under tension to activate the fast twitch muscle fibers. Now, however, the only thing that overrides that time under tension is pain. Let's say you feel pain in your knee or discomfort in your knee at this level. Lighten the resistance to where there's no pain. Forget the time under tension, hold it for 10 to 15 seconds, but it doesn't have to be too intense if there's pain at that high intensity, at that ideal time under tension of 10 to 15 seconds. Now, let's say you keep going back, you keep, lowering the resistance load, and it still hurts, the motion itself hurts, then just don't do the exercise in general. But if you can hold each position, let's say you can hold this for 20 seconds, what do? Oh, just step forward. To increase the resistance. That's all you have to do. Or double up on bands. Grab a heavy resistance band. That time under tension is very important if there's no pain. So that's the 45-degree. All of these are going to follow that same exact time under tension thing. Here's the 90-degree. Only difference between 45 and 90 is the knee is elevated higher. Look at this angle right here. It's 90 degrees, whereas the 45 is more slanted down. If I put a ball right here, it would stay right there for the 90. Put a ball right there for the 45, it would go down. Same exact thing. Time under tension is going to be the same with every single one of these banded isometrics. So if you look at three-way banded calf raise, at the end of the day, everything starts with your foot and ankle complex. Your soleus, your first line of defense for your knees is everything below it. So you want to train your body to absorb that force facing forward, sideways, other side. And the band is going to be pulling you to the side, this side. You want to keep your ankle straight, or pulling you back. So then that's that. And then all of these exercises follow the same exact time under tension. So make sure no less than 10 seconds, but no more than 15 with proper form, unless pain overrides it. So that's the second thing you can do. It's going to take around 20-ish minutes. And the last thing you do for the day is three-way banded calf raise isometric with spring ankle hold. So basically, I made this exercise about 4 or 5-ish months ago because I started thinking when you run or like you cut or you jump, when you land, whatever, you absorb a lot of force up and down, right? And that's what the spring ankle trains. But in reality, you also absorb a lot of force forward and backwards when you run at the same time as up and down. Or when you cut side to side at the same time. So I started thinking, how can I train my body to absorb that force simultaneously? I tore my ACL while cutting. If confidence comes from preparation, how can I train my body to be bulletproof in that position where I can absorb force in that position? I've been there. I've trained that. I'm strong enough there. And after doing this for the past 4 or 5 months, I've been so much more fluid in my cut, so much more stronger with my landing, so much more powerful, so much more confident because I've been there. I've trained these positions. So that's what you want to do. It's a combination of the three-way banded calf raise and then the spring ankle into one. Because as you see, when you cut, you're not like straight up in the air. You have a bent knee in general. You can do all 3 directions. And here's what I'd say though. So the only thing we're going to do is we're going to change one thing. For this first set, what it says is hold position 3 of the spring ankle facing all 3 directions. Second set, hold position 4. So what does that mean? Okay, spring ankle, position 3, position 4. Remember, there's 5 different positions. We're only going to work on 5, 4, and 3. So remember, we're combining the spring ankle and the three-way banded calf raise isometric spring ankle hold. So in this video, I am holding the three-way banded calf raise with position 4 of the spring ankle facing forward, side, side. Because as you see, my heel is elevated all the way, just like position 4 is. So what we want to do for the first set is actually bring this down to about 1 inch off the ground. In reality, when you're running or you're cutting, you're usually on the balls of your feet. You're not really have your heel elevated or on your tippy toes like that. So what we're going to do is the first set facing forward, side, side, is train position 3. So just bring that heel down. Everything we do is going to be right foot and left foot. Everything you do is going to be both feet, with anything we do. From Spanish squat, TKEs, to all the banded isometrics to this as well. So right foot forward, position 3, facing forward. Left foot, position 3, facing forward. Right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. That's all position 3 for the first set. Second set, you're going to do position 4. So what you see in this video right here, because that kind of isolates your foot complex, your ankle complex a little bit better. So that's what we want to do that as well. So that's that. And that's one of my favorite exercises. It also follows the same time under tension as the other banded isometrics. So that 10 to 15 seconds. So that's it for one day. I know it's a lot, but at this phase, that's pretty much all we're going to do because it's all about just activating everything to 100%, getting blood flow running through there, get everything firing to 100%, get that brain muscle connection, increase that fast twitch muscle fibers with everything because that's going to set you up so much better long term. So then when we start doing these lifts in the full range of motion, you have everything firing to 100%. When you start jumping in general, you're able to absorb that force because you have everything firing to 100%. So the days in between, so like Tuesday, you're going to do bulletproof knees, exercise 1 and 2. What does that mean? Bulletproof knees, you can do backwards treadmill walks, sled pulls. You can do those exercises every single day. I recommend doing those exercises every single day. When you walk backwards, you're just doing the concentric motion. So 95% of your soreness actually comes from the eccentric motion and the isometric motion. So only 5 comes from the concentric motion. So that's how your body has the ability to rapidly recover. So you can do these exercises every single day. It just gets more brain muscle connection, getting it over and over and over again. I do this every single day. There's not going to be a day that goes by where I don't do these every single day. So you can do those every single day. Wednesday is going to look very similar, except you're just going to do the banded isometrics just 1 through 5 instead of up here 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Thursday says 1 and 2, bulletproof knees. You can do upper body. Friday can be very similar as Monday and Wednesday. You're just going to do 2 sets of 1 through 9, the banded isometrics. And then that's it for this first phase. Remember, it's just all about activating everything to 100%. And then in about 2 weeks, we're going to switch everything up. We're going to switch some things. We're going to start to add in some lifts. We're going to get some different banded isometrics, work the in and outs of everything, balance everything out. But at this phase, this is the foundation of everything. So another thing I have is your tracking sheet. So the tracking sheet, basically, when you go to do the exercises, all you need is the tracking sheet because, okay, it has all the exercises. So bulletproof knees 1 through 8 on Monday. Okay, yeah, so here it is. You click on it, it's going to take you to that day or to that exercise. You click on it, it's going to take you to that exercise. So all you need to do is go to that day, click on it, click on the exercise. Oh, that's how you do it. Boom, check it off. Levels, check it off. All these, check it off, after you do it. Then banded isometrics. Okay, so 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is that? Here it is. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like it said right here. That's all the exercises. So what you're going to do is just check it off, check it off, check it off. And what you do is you have the video of me doing it for every single exercise. And then that's that. So that way, all you have to do is just come to this page and go to it, go to the exercises, click on it, click on the video of it, watch the video of me doing it. Do it, and then check it off. And then that's it for the whole thing. Let me know if this makes sense. I know I kind of ran through everything. I recommend watching this maybe 2 times just because I threw a lot at you there. But yeah, let's get after it. Amazing.